And welcome to Matrix Talk. Today, we're going to do a beginning act training with the Act Matrix. I'm Kevin. That's Phil. That screen you see before you is the Act Matrix Academy, where you can get continuing education credits, APA CE credits. And you click on the green button below, click here and take your ACT training to the ultimate level. We think so. We got a 1 hour one, which is an ACT as pattern recognition. That's cool. Can't find it anywhere else but there.
It's brand new, hot off the presses, folks.
Yep. And then, as you see, PTSD, substance abuse groups, depression, all around. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And we have some people with us that need to check in. Karina and Jasmine's with us. And Abad. All right, so folks can check in and say, hey. What other? Oh, you can follow us somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's in the upper right-hand corner.
Used to be.
We can't see it from our end anymore.
Yeah.
So, but it must work because we get a few followers each week. So that's going along. Chatted to the lower right-hand corner. Other business at hand. Let's see. I can't think of any. Phil?
I think you covered the bases, Kevin.
Wow, that was good. All right. You know what? Nobody else has chatted in. Who knows?
Yep.
Well, I don't even know who we're. Now, Jasmine's an expert, so she's not new. I don't know if these other people online are new.
See, Michael, Karina. Perhaps we'll.
You could get chatted and say how new you are to acceptance and commitment. Jasmine says hello. Hello, Jasmine. But Jasmine's an expert. So she just hangs out. Hang out.
Shows up.
Hangs around. This is cool. Some others have shown up. What other have shown up? Well, there's another expert has shown up.
Oh, yeah.
Catherine has shown up, and she's an expert. So it's funny how our experts show up to beginning ACT training.
Oh, Catherine.
Maybe we should just turn the tables and have them do the training.
I think that's probably the way to go at some point.
Let them
sit back and let them show.
Nobody else. Oh well, everybody else is, who knows, whatever. But it is a beginning ACT training, so we'll start at the beginning.
Yes.
I think that's how the Bible starts, isn't it?
Oh, there's Karina from Cordoba. All right.
Argentina. Well, I've been there.
Yeah.
That's strange. I've been to Cordoba, Argentina. I wonder if she knew that.
Maybe.
I don't know. I did a presentation in Cordoba, Argentina.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Tell you what, it's a little bit of a hike down there.
Mm-hmm.
Even by flying.
It's pretty well down there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all down there. Yeah.
So anyhow, welcome, Karina.
Welcome. So,
everybody else.
How should we start the beginning? Everybody remember click by. Ooh, that's because we know how it's not to know. Oh, Jasmine.
There you go. Jasmine has said it.
You hear that process stuff. It's the process. Yes. Not the knowledge that matters. Ooh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
That is very deep, and that gets to the gist of what we're talking about.
Yep.
I forget how to. Oh, there. Stop sharing. Now we'll be.
There we go.
There we go. Well, probably even in the original ACT book, 1998 Blue and Gold ACT book, from Steve Hayes and Kelly Wilson and Kirk
Hey,
Strassel.
look. Here's a prop. There it is.
Those guys, probably somewhere deep down in there, is the words, the outcome of ACT is a process. Bingo on what Jasmine just typed in the chat. So it's a process. And with those few words, well, it's sort of difficult. Because your brain wants to go for knowledge.
Give me
I'm
the
not saying
knowledge.
yours. Right. I'm not saying yours. It's just the average human brain goes for knowledge. And basically, if I know this piece of information,
I'm good.
I'm good, right? Or several pieces of
That's it. I have nothing more that I need to know or do.
And instead, this is about getting a process started and then keeping the process going. So the outcome of ACT is keeping a process going. So what's the process? The process is that you have clearly in mind a direction you would like your life to go in. You got a sort of kind of, not a destination, it's a direction. So you'll have a direction in life. So, and you're going to daily or even more than once a day or so, remind yourself of that direction. So much so that it becomes internalized. It's there, but that doesn't keep you from needing to remind yourself of the direction. So that's one. And you say, okay, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that's the values of ACT. So, but that's part of the process. So here you go. Okay. Now, believe it or not, while you're trucking through life, and even though you have this direction to go in, yay, there is stuff that can show up inside of you that manages to interrupt your journey to that direction.
Puts a hitch in your plan.
It puts a hitch up into your plan. And how it happens is that you want to truck along, and let's say anxiety shows up. Ooh, I don't like anxiety.
Yeah.
It's scary and stuff. And so now you stop. Well, what I need to do now is deal with this anxiety.
I gotta excuse me. I gotta go take care of this now.
Right. I gotta take care of this. Well, once that happens, the direction part is offline. But let's use computer kind of thing. It's offline now. And what's online is your efforts to deal with the anxiety.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that happens all the time. And so somewhere along the line, just maybe you learn to go, oh, there's that anxiety again. Hello, anxiety. Nice to see you. I need to get back to this direction.
I'm heading this way.
And notice that's acceptance. So that's the acceptance of the anxiety. You're not trying to get rid of it. You instead metaphorically tip your hat to it and then get back to doing your direction. So that's the commitment part of ACT is the commitment to that direction. And the acceptance is of the yucky stuff that shows up inside of you that could derail you, but it doesn't have to derail you. You can instead just accept it and take it along for the ride.
Boom.
That's okay. And you do that once and you're good. No, I made that up. That's a lie. No, you're not.
Oh man, if only. That would be cool if only, but no. We don't get
It
that.
doesn't work
No.
that way. You forget about the direction. You don't go in it. You
Yeah.
tangle up in yucky stuff. All
Yeah,
kinds of stuff.
that's the limit of knowledge, right? That's what we talked about. It's not knowledge.
Not knowledge. So it's okay. How long is it before intrinsically, and that means from within you, this process shows back up and you re-engage in the process of doing stuff for your direction and accepting the yucky stuff that comes along for the ride. And this process is just simple. It's absolutely simple.
Yeah.
Straightforward, simple, however you want to say it. It's just not easy. So now that's what. So what do people come showing up for therapy for, Phil?
Oh,
Even
wow.
coaching for that matter.
They come because they have been derailed.
They're derailed, they're off, they're in the weeds.
Yep.
Usually, and because there's a long history of this, but usually they're showing up because they want to get rid of.
Well, they want relief.
They want relief from anxiety, relief
Right.
from depression, relief
This is really troubling them, and they want relief from whatever it is.
whatever it is. And so that's the agenda. So the agenda does not. The agenda most people show up with to coaching therapy, anything like this.
Yeah.
It's not the agenda of, oh, I need to head toward my direction.
No. They've lost that piece somewhere along the way.
Not there. And so this process that we do with people is one to get that going again, that direction. Get it identified and get people trucking in that direction. And then the other is the acceptance part, which is, oh yeah, all kinds of yucky stuff is going to show up. And while sometimes you got to stop and deal with it, part of life, but a lot of times you don't.
Yeah.
You just have it and go on about it. And so that's the trick is people have shown up to get rid of stuff. To get rid of anxiety, get rid of depression, get rid of
Bad memories.
So ACT sort of comes at it in this different way. And of course you need to show people that you're going to be doing that. Other than that, you're not being cool. You're not giving people informed consent.
You're not being above board.
Above board. So especially somebody who has no clue that you're going to be talking about, I'm going to use ACT parlance, valued life direction. They got no clue that you're going to be talking about that. And then you spring that on them without asking them. Well, that's not cool.
Yeah.
They need to know.
I don't like it.
They need to know what they're entering into with you. Whereas there's other things, CBT, oh, you're here to work on your anxiety? Great. Let's work on your anxiety.
Yeah.
Focus right in on the anxiety. Where ACT, it would be disingenuous of you to say, yes, we're only going to work on your anxiety. That's not ACT. ACT is you're going to learn how to accept your anxiety and move in this valued life direction. So you need to tell people that. And why do I say that? Well, that was a big reason for coming up with the ACT matrix. It was a way of doing informed consent and engaging people at the same time. So that's the matrix. So that's why we say beginning ACT training with the ACT matrix. So how does that happen? Well, you develop the matrix and you say, hi. I work from this point of view. Is it okay if I show you this point of view? That's really how we we
That's
start,
how I
right?
start every single
Right.
time.
And you can use slightly different words, but that's the message of that. Here's the point of view. And then say, hold on, Kevin, why did you say point of view? Why? Well, because it is. It's based on a philosophy. We'll just call it workability. So you're using the workability philosophy, a point of view, a way of looking at life that way. And if you're doing ACT, you're doing that philosophy.
Oh, coming from this point of view, most definitely.
It emanates from that point of view. So you can say you're doing ACT, but you say, well, I'm not doing the philosophy because I don't know anything about it. Well, like riding a bike without knowing what the word balancing means.
Right.
You're still riding a bike and you're still balancing. You just don't know the word for balance. This is, you're doing ACT and you're doing this point of view. So that's just important. So that's why we call it a point of view. And we say, can I show you the point of view? With those words, everybody is fine with saying it.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
now just all kinds of stuff just happens. Okay? This is using words in a benevolent, kind way. We all know of examples where words are used to manipulate, harm, and threaten, all kinds of stuff. Well, you're doing it. We're not doing that. That's just not. But we also want to engage people in the process. We want to give them a taste of the process and show them what they're going to be engaging in. And if you go and hand them that blue and gold book that Phil just held up and said, go read this and come back, well, they're not going to do it.
Ain't gonna happen.
Too hard. So along comes the ACT matrix. So how do you show people that process, explain people that process, and ultimately ask them, do you want to continue working within this process? So in that regard, you can use the ACT matrix as a way of just showing the ACT process and then drop it and go do traditional ACT
Put it down, put it aside.
and just do ACT stuff. Okay, but it is advantageous to be able to show somebody the point of view very quickly, so they know that you're doing this process rather than totally focused on getting rid of depression or anxiety or whatever. Now, of course, the ACT folks in commercialism got in the way of that. So the first commercial ACT book was ACT for Depression. So now people show up and say, I want to get me some of that ACT to get rid of my depression.
Yeah.
And well, capitalism is what it is. Whatever. You got to get people in the door. So butts in the seat. So that's a way to get butts in the seat. So okay, fine. We'll have that argument somewhere else, or that discussion somewhere else. But nevertheless, they've shown up. And so, then the way Phil and I do it is after saying, can I show you this point of view? People go, ah. And they'll say, okay, it starts off, it looks like this. That's all you have to say. It looks like this, like that. Looks like this. And we start with the question, who's important to you? So who's important to you? So right then, you're going, well, what are they up to? We're establishing a direction. That's what we're doing. And we can come back and explain that later, but we don't want to explain that right now. We want to just take them through the process. Okay, they gave, my wife's important to me. Who's important to you? The answer is 99.9999% of the time, you ask somebody that question, they answer it. Little fact about humans, we're very social, and we tend to, one of our directions is to be social with people who are important to us.
Seems to work.
So a value life direction sounds complicated. It's not.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Just, but it is nice to be reminded of it. So you get that. So you establish that. Then you say, okay, over here in the lower left, we have yucky stuff like fear. That can show up inside it. Anything else did you think of that shows up inside of you? And now you, what they might say, anxiety. Anybody got an example?
Yeah, want to put one in there, perhaps?
One of your favorites that shows up inside of you?
Stress, Catherine.
Oh, that's a nice one. Self-doubt. That's one of my favorites.
Had that this morning. First thing.
Oh, yeah.
Overthinking.
Well, you're probably overthinking your overthinking. But
Yep.
at least you're not underthinking your overthinking. I just
Ah, yes. Right. Yeah. I got to do more overthinking.
But anyways, that's so the yucky stuff. So now we've established we're going to notice the yucky stuff that shows up inside of us. Remember, we're headed in a direction and we can get derailed by the yucky stuff, okay? So we've already established that. We can explain that next part later. And then we go in the upper left, say, well, what's your favorite things to do to get relief from stress? What's your favorite stress reliever? I do believe I have some. I do have some stress relief things that I do. What do you do, Catherine? Get yourself a touch of relief.
Or anybody else for that matter, too. Yoga, line, go to the gym.
Go to the gym. All three at once. All right. No.
Trifecta.
She probably doesn't drink wine and go to the gym. That wouldn't be safe. Unless she can walk to the gym. Oh,
Well,
chocolate. Yay, chocolate is sent in by Amina. Yay, yay. Chocolate is popular.
absolutely.
Ice cream, other wine, ice cream, eating, and yoga and walking and all kinds of things. Our call friend, family member. And these are all relief moves, folks.
Call a friend. Yeah.
I need to go talk to somebody. Well, in that regard, the talk is for relief. It's just part of life. It's all there is to it. It's just part of life. And now we go to the upper right and we say, hey, what kind of stuff can you do to approach who's important to you? And, and hopefully get contentment is the word we put up there. For me, I might go talk to my wife. What a concept, right? But there's many things that we humans do.
I put Netflix with the sun.
Netflix.
Oh, we can also be calling a friend over here, too.
I'll say that's where she put that as a relief.
That's a relief move, right?
But by the way, you can do that as a
Let's put that over here.
as well. And that brings up a point. Any behavior can go on the left, right, or both sides. It's the purpose of the behavior. So if the purpose of your yoga is to get relief, well, you're listed over on the left. But if the purpose of the yoga is to approach health, well, it's over there on the right. Okay, so take kids swimming, yay! They like that, for sure. Off to the pool.
Oh, yeah.
So, and now we've established all of that, and we have it. And then you can add, and so what we do in the therapy, coaching, whatever you want to say, is get to the point where you're very good at noticing all of this showing up in your life. So you can often notice who's important to you, often notice the yucky stuff showing up. You can notice yourself doing the relief moves, and you can notice yourself doing the contentment, the approach moves. And what do you think? You think you might have the opportunity to notice that kind of stuff in the next week or so? I will. Hey, so that's what.
Says,
Yeah,
yes.
at that point you can break off and say, okay, so this is the process that we do in this thing called acceptance and commitment training and therapy. This is what we do. The lower right is referring to the direction you would like to move your life in, which includes who's important to you. And the lower left has the yucky stuff that could show up and derail you. And the process is how you keep a firm eye on who's important and moving in the direction, and learning how to lessen your struggle with the lower left stuff. Along the way, it might even get less. We don't know, but we can't guarantee that.
No.
And that's certainly not the point of the thing, of the process. So what do you think? You want to give it a try? You want to give this process a try for a session or two or three? What do you think? And now I've done informed consent.
Yes.
And with Phil and I, we always come back to using the matrix. So we really have, this is what we'll be doing.
We'll go one step further and say we will continue to work with you from this point of view.
But you don't have to.
No, you can go off and do whatever thing it is that you like to do.
Right. You're going to stop right there. But that has introduced this workability model, workability philosophy that ACT is based upon. So you're not doing CBT. CBT is a mechanistic fix-it philosophy, where ACT is built on this workability, learning what works to get you where you want to go philosophy. So CBT is set up for getting rid of what ails you. We're not saying there's anything wrong with getting rid of what ails you. It's just not this.
Not the process we do.
This is not the process we're doing. So that's what we would consider a beginning acceptance and commitment therapy. Because you really do need to present to people what you're doing. In therapy and even coaching world, it's called informed consent. Nice to know.
Yeah.
And so, and with that, you also have it said, now with the way we do it here is that you probably haven't pissed them off. And why does Kevin say that? Because there's some other ways you can start the acceptance and commitment process that can just get people off on the wrong foot.
More derailment.
Right. And so that's why when we're doing that, we don't mention the word values. Because we learned a long time ago that there's a segment of the population that are touchy about that word. And basically they'll take it as meaning you're saying that I don't have any value.
Yeah.
And now you got a fight on your hands, and that's not the process.
You're introducing something that just don't need to be there.
You don't need that. And if you're a full-time or even a part-time therapist, you don't need that showing up once or twice a week.
No.
Recipe for burnout doing that. So we just dropped it. Works just fine. Remember, the whole thing, the fancy words are value, life, direction.
Yeah.
That's just fancy words. It's just
Yeah.
your life has a direction you would like it to go in. Yeah. There.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I've never had a person yet say to me, "Hey, Phil, you haven't asked me about my values yet."
No. We don't have that.
Never.
So, so you've established that. The other is you got to be careful with saying the word acceptance.
Yeah.
Because you'll trigger this, and you may have already had this happen.
Mm.
So they say, "Oh, you're saying I got to accept all this bull crap,
Yeah.
and put up with it." You know,
Yeah.
need I go further? Things are already awful.
More derailment.
You're not on process.
No.
Now you're derailed, and now you got to go. No, 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 no. I don't mean it that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's really not where you want to be. Just not where you want to be. So we took all of that out. We don't have to. Yucky stuff. Everybody knows yucky stuff. Come on. So it's not a big deal. So we've established the process in a way. We've done this a lot of times, folks. So it doesn't take people off, and they can choose whether they want to keep doing it or not. Almost most people go, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
This looks useful. This looks like a cool way of looking at things.
Yeah.
With that said, it's still the acceptance and commitment therapy and training matrix. That's what it was built for. It was built to introduce that process very quickly to people. Most, by the way, even for students coming in, student comes in, especially back when I was doing this in 05, they show up and they literally hadn't heard of that.
No.
Even heard of it. So now you go, okay. Once again, hand them the blue and gold book and say, go read that. No, that doesn't. Because you could read the whole book and you'll miss getting the process. You will. I did.
Oh my gosh. No. No. Wasn't in there. I know.
I am not sitting there saying that. I read that book twice and I didn't even get.
I could not figure out, had all the pieces moving. Nope.
It's that the book is almost like you've been given all these pieces of a disassembled bicycle.
Oh yeah, or like a IKEA table or something like that.
Yeah. You ordered it.
It's got some floating diagram. Like,
put it in the back of your Subaru and brought home. You know, and you're going, oh no,
what is this? I know there's good stuff in here somewhere, but man, I can't wrap my head around.
And so years of work putting it together and coming up with a simple method. So the ACT matrix is a simple way of presenting the ACT process. And then you keep coming back to it. The way we keep coming back to it is we show people this process.
You keep doing that.
Or you Google it out yourself. You write down who's important to you. You write down your different stuff. You write down your favorite relief moves, and you write down your favorite approach moves. And you're back on process. Like the old style lawnmowers before we had battery lawnmowers. But it dies, and you got to got to turn it over again. Got to get her going. That's what you're doing with this. As you do the matrix, it gets it going. And so that's beginning ACT. And truth be told, you don't need anything more than beginning.
Nope. Process is simple.
I shouldn't be saying that. That's damaging to our economy. people
And the training program people need to get involved with.
The human mind. So let's tell you, people still with us?
Yeah, it looks like they're still there. Yeah.
Well, the problem with the matrix is it's too straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
It's too simple.
Yeah.
And so, sort of all the other aspects of ACT are built for making it look really complex. So people's mind says, "Ooh, that's complex. It
Yeah.
must be good."
Yep.
No, because you're not going. You or the people you're working with are not going to remember complex stuff when they're out doing stuff in life.
Yep.
It needs to be internalized in a way that it shows up
Yeah.
and you do it on the fly. That's what complexity doesn't lend itself to that. That's the problem. So that's why we keep coming back to the very simple process. What would happen, Phil, if somebody you were working with got out the matrix diagram once a day and filled in the 4 quadrants?
Well, I had that experience over my
Yeah,
time,
me too.
and some very interesting things happened.
Yeah, like what?
Well, like for example, I had a kid who said to me, "You know what? Instead of freaking out, I draw a matrix now."
Oh no, really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, see, there you go. And that means they were using it on the fly.
They learned how to use it on the fly. No one told this person how to do it. He just picked it up and started writing stuff down on the board. All by himself.
There's this thing called some kind of practice. Phil, you know it. Not focus practice.
Guided?
Deliberate practice?
Oh, deliberate practice, yes.
Deliberate practice.
Yes.
So deliberate practice, you'll hear a lot about it in sports.
Yep.
And regarding deliberate practice. Well, the great thing about the matrix is you can just sort of doodle around and fill it in and not be very deliberate,
Oh.
and it still works.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit deliberate just because.
Well, you got to write something out. That's the
Fill
deliberate.
it in,
Right.
right.
Yeah, right.
But other than that, it doesn't have to be. And it's certainly, you're not looking for an epiphany. Like guys open up and
No, the angels don't start singing.
all that. It's really not that at all. It is, oh, there it is again.
Yeah.
On about my business. And then you'll get reminded to do it again.
Yeah.
And bar none, folks, the people who are most successful at engaging in this and doing it and coming back and reporting cool things are the people who write it down at least once a day.
Yep.
And when we're talking 20 seconds to 60 seconds of writing,
Yeah, no. Doesn't take much. Two
because
cross lines, a few words.
right. Once again, folks, we're not looking for epiphanies.
Yeah.
Who's important? My wife. What's your yucky stuff? Self-doubt. What's your favorite away movie? Netflix.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tour? Take my wife to dinner. Done.
Poof.
Go on about your business.
Yeah.
But that's not a one-time deal. You do it again.
Every day.
And if you'll do that just once a day, boom, boom. It's really quite astounding what happens. And if you want to know what's happening, sort of automatically go click on the green button and take the ACTIS pattern recognition course. It's by doing that, you see the pattern of your life. That's what happens. But you don't have to epiphany it. You don't have to come to some verbal conclusion about this. It's a it's a fast brain process. It's not slow brain process is when you're cogitating about things. Fast brain is when
Gets in there much quicker.
right, just shows up. And so this is how we turn accidentally. I will totally admit we accidentally turned ACT into pattern recognition.
Yeah.
This operates off of pattern recognition, best we can tell. Why? Because come on, folks, what I just described is not really rocket science.
Nope. Nope, like that student, he had no advanced training. He did.
Like, it was important, yucky stuff. Relief moves, approach moves, done. Do that again, done. Do that again, done. Oh, I'm noticing all kinds of stuff about my life. This is really something. And invariably, they'll report spending more time on their directions, on where they want to go in life.
Yeah.
And they'll also report noticing relief moves and stuff. And they'll notice they have really favorite relief moves that they wouldn't give up for anything. And I wouldn't either.
You would never suggest that they do that.
So, I like listening to music for relief. Well, who's going to give that up?
Bowl of popcorn.
Exactly, relief. So you're noticing that, but you're noticing as here we come within the process of your life.
Within.
And then you go, oh, this isn't such a pleasant day. I'm not feeling that great today. Yeah, join the club. Some days are like that. And automatically this workability happens.
It just shows up.
Now we oftentimes we'll talk about it just to have something to talk about, but that's just part of life. It just shows up. Because people automatically keep what works and stop doing what don't work if they're noticing.
That's the question. That's it, right?
So this is all about turning on noticing, getting noticing going. And once you're noticing, and you say, "Oh, I forgot, Kevin. How do you do that?" You take the matrix. Who's important? Yucky stuff.
Here we go.
You do a loop. And then that kicks up the noticing. Here we go. Now I got noticing going. And with that noticing going, you'll keep what works and discard what doesn't work for your direction.
Yep.
Humans are great at it. It's wonderful to see. And then maybe you as a therapist say, but they need an epiphany.
Yeah, me too.
They need the giant aha moment.
Yeah. Oh, you got one you can hand me?
I've had lots of aha moments.
Yeah. Well, they didn't come from right. They just showed up.
And you know what? You grind out life that way. But it's different. My gosh, it's different.
Very different way of doing things.
It's way different to do this.
Yeah.
A different process of life, one that you're not used to doing. Now, and another reason why we have to, all of us, keep coming back and redoing the matrix is because all of life around us is telling us if you just make more money, you'll be happy.
All those messages coming in.
You just lose some weight, you'll be happy. If you just, it's always if you just. And then we get on the rat race of trying to lose weight or make more money or whatever, and self-doubt creeps in and all kinds of stuff. So we live in a world that really derails off this process. This process isn't a very good money-making process. That's a good way of saying it. It doesn't set people up for wanting to go buy a fix.
Yeah.
And so we need to change the error of our ways, Phil, and start telling people how they need to be fixed.
Oh yeah.
Anybody want us to start doing that, folks? We'll start doing. We'll
Next Crowdcast, how to fix yourself.
how to get fixed.
How to get fixed.
If you want us to, well, I guess we could try. I don't know if I would succeed at that. I've been doing this so long.
Yeah. I don't know.
And this sort of this calm, do it over and over again. And Phil and I sum it up as chop wood, carry
Yeah.
water.
It would derail my process, is what it would do.
Right. We get up and we chop wood and carry water. The part of the reason you say that is because there's nothing inherently exciting about chopping wood and carrying water.
Nope.
Just the process of life. But there can be great satisfying things about chopping wood and carrying water. And this satisfaction, this contentment can show up in your life, even though you're getting up and going about doing things.
Yeah.
And now you're not looking for the happiness fix. Like Russ Harris,
There you go.
his book, The Happiness Trap. It is. It is a trap. Definitely. If you would just do this, you'd be happy. So that means I could go do something and guaranteed I'd be happy.
Would just fall into my lap.
Right. And no, this is about the art of noticing it showing up. So that's beginning act. They just act. The matrix was developed for beginning act. But truth be told, Phil and I, we don't usually go much further.
We use it all the way through.
You'll see on Wednesdays, a lot of times we'll do sorting. I'll be honest with you, we don't do much of that.
Nope.
Don't need to. Advanced is when we talk about the theoretical RFT and all that good stuff. Fun to talk about, I guess, but
Yeah.
doesn't really make any hill of beans of
It
difference.
doesn't add to or enhance it. I mean, it enhances your understanding, but that's about the gist of it.
Yeah, but as far as it just working, heck, that's why I started. If you get somebody that starts filling out a matrix once a day, magic will happen. So there's a 90-something% chance that this magic will show
Oh,
up.
absolutely. Yeah.
We've seen it too many.
They'll see and they'll see.
We've seen it too many thousands of times. So that's my task, is to play around with this stuff until somebody starts filling one out about once a day.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they filled it out once every 2 days, it probably work fine.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that would work. Get out to once a week or so, it gets a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Enough to get them into the process.
Yeah. But that's it. So remember, the outcome of ACT is a process.
Yeah.
So if somebody sits down and fills out who's important, yucky stuff,
Right.
but that they just did the process.
Right. And I've seen people get into the process very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And I have seen people that have had to kind of, they've had to do it a few times.
Yep.
But okay.
And then some people,
Results vary as far as that goes. But
but we got the process going.
I've never seen it happen that people didn't engage in the process and get into the process, not come out of it with some very cool, interesting stuff. They end up doing more of the stuff they want to do. Let's put it that way.
So there you go. Beginning even simpler than we usually present. Show people the point of view, get them to do the point of view. Have them show it back to you.
Oh, that's the best part.
A cool way to do it. If you're doing a presentation, the way we do it is we show.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We show it, and we say, your turn, turn to your neighbor and show it to your neighbor.
Best way to learn, show it to someone else.
So when they show it, what do? process. As Jasmine wrote at the beginning, it's the process that's important. Showing them how to do the process, and then their neighbor shows it back to them. Process again. If then a whole work team starts doing this, the second one is pro-social, but don't worry about it. They just start doing the process. They
Now
start doing it.
Yep.
And that's it. It's that simple.
It really is.
But life, the things are going to come along and convince you that it's not that simple. So I've been around this block so many times, I know this.
Yeah. Things will be done.
Complicated sells better. But the most powerful things are the straightforward, simple things. Why? Because they're a process. Topwood carry water is a process, by the way.
It's repeatable and it's sustainable.
You're Phil's an over accordion player.
Right.
So what happens to somebody who practices the accordion 5 minutes a day for 10 years?
If you do that for 365 days, you are a much better accordion player than you were when you started out.
I got all these guitars. What happens if somebody practices the car 5 minutes a day?
That's it.
5 minutes a day, every single day. Well, they may not be a virtuoso at the end of it.
No, we're not talking about that.
Not talking about that, but they're going to be a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be a lot better. And that's it. So, yeah, we're not saying they become Chet Atkins or somebody. No. Who's the famous accordion player?
Oh, there's so many. Not even funny.
Did Lawrence Welk play the accordion?
Yeah, well, Florence, what's his name? I think his name was Florence Henderson, was the accordionist on
Really? Oh,
Lawrence Welk show.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, anything.
I don't remember anyhow.
And what are we talking? And that's not even deliberate practice. Because if you want to really, if you want to be a great tennis player or golfer, or something,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to have to do a lot more deliberate practice. But if you just want to get the hang of something, it's part of your life, it's 5 minutes a day and you're good. We're not saying you're great, but
No.
you're good.
But you said it. It's you're getting the hang of things. It's getting the hang of things. It's the feeling that you get. You get a hang of things.
And guess what? With the Matrix, you don't have to be an expert.
Nope.
You know, do the process. There we go. Simple act. Beginning at.
Yes.
Just do that, you'll be fine. And then go read an act book and have a blast. But remember, it's about
Deep dive.
establishing the life direction check.
Come back to this when you're done reading.
Establishing that along the line, sometimes you got to accept the yucky stuff. That's
Called life.
I'm using the terms, so you commit to a direction and you accept that the yucky stuff shows up. And that's why they call it acceptance and commitment. Now, the original name was comprehensive distancing. So by noticing all that stuff, boom, comprehensive distance. We just did it. Easy peasy. Go do it again. Like the little kid. Do it again. Do it again.
Sure thing.
And that's what you do. So have fun doing that. Really, have a blast. We hope you enjoy it. Well, I don't know what we'll do on Wednesday. Who knows? We'll play around.
Yeah, we got a couple of things we're percolating on.
But in the meantime, click on the green button. Easy to take the 1 hour course. It's $19.95.
Yeah.
And get yourself a CE, and you'll see our take on this active pattern recognition. Fun stuff. We're going to go do something exciting, right, Phil?
Absolutely. We'll see you, folks. Take care.